I tried 14 boots this year, all over an extended period of time. So today, we gotta see how each and every one stacks up against each other. Let's get into it.
Old boots got soul, and I carry on this way, and we get better every day.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig, and I am so grateful to have had the privilege to try out 14 different cowboy boots this year. I've had some favorites, and I've had some not so favorites. Some downright despicable boots. So I'm gonna rank them all today, and you'll know which ones are my favorite, if that means anything to you. If not, that's cool too. I actually tried 15 boots this year, but the other one was the Ariat Workhog. It was a steel toe boot, and I really didn't feel like I could compare it to any of these. It would be used in completely different circumstances. So that one I'm leaving out. And also, I didn't have the chance to try every single brand that is in existence. Basically, I'm trying to say that if your favorite boot brand isn't in this list, it's simply because I didn't try it this year, not because I didn't want to or think less or so little of them that I didn't try. Trust me, I tried. So if you want me to try a specific boot brand in the future, email me, or maybe you should email that specific boot brand. So we got 14 boots to get through, so let's just get right into it. Alright, so we gotta start at the bottom. The absolute worst, most despicable boot. Coming in at number 14 is the Roper Ostrich Print Vegan Boot. This made me appreciate a real leather boot like nothing ever before. It just felt weird. The leather, or pleather, just didn't move right. It just felt like a slipper. And plus, it looked awful and was built very poorly. I didn't like it so much, I cut it open and you could see how horribly made this was. Not only was this the worst boot that I tried this year, this is the worst boot that I've ever tried in my life. This boot is so bad, like I swear that Roper could sell this for $10, what it's actually worth, and still make a profit off of it. It felt like a slipper, so it was kinda comfortable, but only in the way that a slipper should be and not a boot should be. You know what I'm saying? It felt flimsy. You are much better off getting any other boot in this list, hands down. This is the worst of the worst. Coming in at number 13, where any boot looks better than the last, is the Ariat Rambler. This was the first boot that I tried this year, and it is stiff. It's got a pretty low instep. Like, I had a hard time getting into this boot than any other boot this year, and it's primarily cement constructed, which means you probably can't get it resold at a cobbler near you, and it's also kind of ugly in my opinion. So all in all, it wasn't really comfortable, didn't really do it for me on the looks. It can hold up in some work situations, but there are better boots that can do that too, that just look better as well. So that's why this one comes in at number 13. Sorry all you Rambler lovers. I understand why you like it, it's just not for me. Coming in at number 12 on the year is the Rockin' Leather Harness Boot. Now, the sizing is what was most annoying about Rockin' Leather boots. This was a 10.5D, and I'm a 12B, so I would have to size down anyways. So I ordered a 10.5D, and it actually fits like an 11 double E. So it's really wide. It's much wider than what a D width should be. And I know for some of you folks who don't really have a hard time finding sizes, you might be able to size down and fit into a Rockin' Leather boot really easy, but I can't do that. And if you have trouble trying to find sizes, like a right-fitting boot all the time, then definitely do not try Rockin' Leather. It is very hard to find a good fit. The leather quality is kind of poor, and I'm really concerned about the crepe-like 8 seconds outsole. It's like a rubber, but then it has a crepe middle here, but it seems to be kind of weak. It's taken a little bit more wear than what I would have expected it to in the little time that I actually did wear this boot in the grand scheme of things. Coming in at number 11 are the vintage Dan Post boots that I got from Goodwill. Yes, we are including used boots in this lineup as well because it matters. You can find some great used boots for pretty cheap, a lot cheaper than some of these new, and they actually turn out to be better boots, which is why I like this ranking. But this first one was a loss for me. You know, I got this boot from Goodwill for $35, and they were a little bit stiff, but I thought I could break them in, so I wore them around in the snow, really trying to work them to see what they could do, and then the leather just started like flaking off in places. And I wasn't really doing anything except walking around, so these ones didn't turn out to be that great of a find, unfortunately. This was $35. All of the other ones were closer to $100 or more, so really this was a better loss than some of those other ones would be if you were to try some different kinds of boots, which is why this one comes in at number 11. Coming in at number 10 is the Ariat holder with the shock shield technology. And that shock shield actually works. It's really cool. I filmed it all in slow motion. You can see it come out like a bubble and sort of settle. And the heel was really comfortable, but the ball of the foot, on my foot, it just didn't feel comfortable at all. And I'm sure that's just me and that boot, because the person who has them now, my best buddy, Mac, he loves them. He thinks they're the most comfortable thing in the world. So it's gonna be different depending on your foot type. And I wasn't really a huge fan of the Energy Max insole. There are better insoles, I feel like Ariat does. So that shock shield was cool and all, but I just feel like if they added in one of their other insoles or did something else to the middle of the boot, it just needs something else, in my opinion. But other than that, it seems like it has pretty good durability at a good value if it was comfortable for you. It's kind of a cool feeling, to be honest. Coming in at number 9 is the Ariat Circuit Patriot boot. Now this one could have made 8 as well. It was a very tough call position for me, but I ended up at 9. The 4LR is really comfy in this boot. Ariat has a hard time trying to figure out which 4LR they want to call what insole, because there's like 3 different ones that are called 4LR and they feel very different, which is kind of annoying, but this one has the good 4LR. So it's really comfortable in my opinion, but it also feels as blocky as it looks. It just looks really blocky, and when you're walking in them, you feel like you're kind of wearing blocks on your foot. Like it just feels a little bit different, a little bit more clompier. Clompier, is that a word? Clompier is a word now. Also, it can break in kind of sloppy. I feel like the toe bug is way too high on this boot, and it's gonna cause it to just not look as good as it possibly could. Plus, the leather outsole wears fast, mainly because they etched in this design at the bottom of it when it was brand new. But that, I feel like, increases the surface area of the boot sole, which wears it down a lot faster. So I found myself like really wearing down those soles way more than some others. I still feel like it's a pretty good value and it's a really comfortable boot. I just feel like it could be less clompier. Coming in at number 8 is the Ariat Roper. Now there was a battle in my heart between the 8 and the 9 spots. 8 spot could have gone to the Circuit Patriot. In fact, I was leaning that way until the Roper stole my heart. It is like the best Ariat that I've ever tried. It's just so simple. It does what it needs to do, and it comes in B-widths, guys. So this fit me really well and was super comfortable. It is pretty cheaply made, but I feel like the value's there. The price point is good. It's cheaper than what the Rambler is. Doing random odd jobs or going out in the woods, like I feel it's a really good boot for those things. Coming in at number 7 are the red Cayman Tail JW Cowboy boots. And not only the red Cayman Tail boots, but all of the other JW boots that I tried this year as well. They're all ranked at number 7 because all of mine are basically made exactly the same. And they have great personality. Like, I love what you can do with JW Boot Company. You can get reds, you can get greens, you can get blues, and they'll make it for you. And the leather is really nice. The leather feels good. There's just some other things with the build quality that I'm not super happy about. Like, there's a weak heel counter, and the cloth-like foam insole on the inside is already starting to rip a little bit, and I've only been wearing these boots since February, and I really like wearing these boots. Like, they're nice and everything, but I just feel like if they improved the counter and the insole, they could easily move up 2 spots in this ranking. That's it, really. Everything else about their boots I like. There's so much personality. The leather is great. All right, folks, we're more than halfway home. Coming in at number 6 are the red J. Chisholm boots that I got from Craigslist for $25, and they were almost brand new. I love these boots. They're so cool. They just look great. Everybody needs a pair of red boots, in my opinion. They're just so fun. They're great for Bills games or holidays, and at the price that they were at $25, I feel like the value is there, even though they were more of a cheaply US-made boot. They have a cloth and foam insole that's really not the best, and I feel like the outsole and the heel cap could be a little bit better, but for $25 and having such a screaming cool boot, I think it's totally worth it. I absolutely love it. So that's the number 6 spot. All right, we're getting into the good stuff now. I'm loving it. Coming in at number 5 are the Hondo 7875s. Now this is a boot that is built well and it fits great. They have narrow widths. You can make special orders from Hondo. It might take a while for them to make your boots, but when it comes down to it, they fit and feel great when you have the right size. And getting the right fit is important to comfort, especially because these Hondo 7875s have a hard leather insole. They are very traditionally made. They haven't changed the way they've made a boot since 1965 when they started. The only thing that I don't like about these Hondo boots are the heel cap and the sole. I was trying to get a fence post out, so I was kicking at it, and a chunk of the heel cap came off. And there are definitely quality heel caps and soles that can handle that kind of stuff. So if you see this boot with a Vibram sole or a Goodyear heel cap, I would say scoop it up, because that is really good. A better sole and heel cap on this boot would have easily moved it up 2 spots. That's the only thing that I have against this model, and I know they have models out there with the Vibram soles and the Goodyear heel caps. So it's a good boot, but the one that I got just didn't fit the need. Coming in at number 4 are the Ruho Full Quill Ostrich boots. They're calling this the Deacon. This ostrich leather was really soft, like it felt great. And the Cloudwalk insole is really nice. It's made up of memory foam, but the only thing that I noticed is that if you have to be on your feet all day long, 12 hours or more, then it starts to compress a little bit and not offer you as much support as when you started wearing it at the beginning of the day. The next day it seems to rebound a little bit, but then starts to lose a little bit of support after 12 hours. Still, it looks great, even though it seems to be following all of the trends right now. Very little personality. It's looking like pretty much every other boot company under the sun and the boots that they're releasing. So the cording look is just sort of blah, like whatever to me. But when you're wearing your pants over top of them and that ostrich just shines to the world, it looks great and it feels great as well, as long as I don't have to stand or walk in them for 12 hours or more. Look out, we're in the top 3 now. Coming in at number 3 are the Ranch Road Walker boots. This was an awesome build and the only boot that I tried this year that's made in Spain. It looks great. Oh, I love the look of this boot, and the lining is super soft. That Spanish leather is incredible. And it's also got some personality too, even though it's using cording, since that cording is in the design of a piece of art made by Frank Stella. So there's a lot going on in this boot that's really cool, plus it's built well and feels great. Sizing is tough though. Usually they only have one width, and that width is a D width, so it might be difficult for folks to find wider sizes or more narrow sizes, and trying to size up or size down can get a little bit difficult. Still, it's a really good looking boot and it's made really well, plus it feels great. So Ranch Road Walker coming in at number 3. All right, my second favorite boot. that I tried in 2020 goes to the Chisos #1. This is an awesome boot. It's amazingly built, pretty much traditionally made, except it's got this incredible insole in it. This insole is like nothing else on the market. It really feels so much different than other cowboy boots, but it feels really, really good, like pretty luxurious. And the retired dairy cow leather that they use to make the boot is awesome. Like, it feels really durable and soft. Sizing is an issue here too, though. Usually they only have D widths available. Occasionally they'll do some special orders for some double E's, but that's here and there, maybe every few months or so. So if you wanted a boot and you were looking for a double E, you might not be able to get it when you want it. And they do absolutely no narrow sizes at all. If they did do a narrow size, they probably would have had #1, because this boot does pinch my toes a little bit just because they don't offer narrow sizes, so I have to size down. But even though it does pinch my toes a little bit, it's breaking in well, and it is a very comfortable boot to wear and also really durable. I've actually been on 5-mile hikes in the Chisos, so it's really well made and can handle much more than probably what you would give a $500 boot. That's right, it is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. The value is there if you can find the right size for you. And finally, my favorite boot of 2020. This is the one that I would often think about wearing when I'm wearing some of these other ones for tests on this channel. I would say, man, I really got to do that video, but I would really like to wear my Nakona shrunken shoulder boots. Now, this was a special limited release made by Hewlett and Dunn back in the day. This is a used boot that was sent to me by my buddy Aaron. He sent them to me and said, "These don't fit me, do they fit you?" And man, did they ever. They are a 12B and they fit perfectly. Plus, they're built the way that I like it. They got the hard leather insole. It feels great. The heel isn't too high. It's ready for anything. Plus, it's a used boot. I'm telling you guys, you can get some great finds out there, some great quality boots that are slightly used. You're overlooking so many great possibilities for some of these cheaper, lesser quality boots. These Nakona shrunken shoulder boots were made in the USA back when Nakona had their factories here and were doing a lot of work, and they are incredible. I even went down a rabbit hole on this channel on some of the Nakonas and the widths that they offer. In some of these boots, you can find them for quadruple A. You can find so many different widths. I found another 12B kangaroo boot, which I sent to Aaron to thank him for sending me these ones first and starting this whole thing off. My mind is blown with what Nakona used to be, and I hope they return to these kinds of boots, to making these kinds of boots on a regular basis, because man, were they awesome. That Nakona shrunken shoulder boot is my favorite boot of the year. That might disappoint you all, but it sure as hell does not disappoint me. So that's how the 14 boots that I tried in the year 2020 stacked up against each other. Loving the Nakona shrunken shoulder boots the best, but definitely those others in the top were spectacular as well. Let me know what you want me to try in 2021. Put it down in the comments, and while you're there, would you have ranked any of these any differently? Let me know about that too. Thank you so much for watching this year. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. I see a lot of you in here so frequently, and more than half of you aren't subscribed, so make sure you punch that subscribe button right now. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you around. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
Ooh, 2020 was the year. I tried 14 boots, some I still hold dear, especially these Nakonas near and others in the top tier. Yeah, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Thank you so much for watching this year. I'll see you in 2021. What's gonna make the list then? Be sure to subscribe to find out. Yeah.